Hi guys, welcome back. Today's project is to fix up our front gate post. That post is going to stay for a while. It's not that old, but these things are a bit of a hodgepodge. A smaller gate was put on at some stage, that's why there's two posts there, and the other ones are in trouble. So we're going to pull these out and probably just those two, put a new stay bar across the top, a horizontal one, and we'll go from there. First thing is to pull it out. You can see white ants have been getting into here. They eat the sapwood first. I've been jamming pegs in here trying to stop the post from leaning over when we open the gate, but enough's enough. It's time to replace the post. One of the advantages of using a chisel instead of a chainsaw to make a mortise is that it comes out really nice. I've just given it a bit of a paint up with sump oil to stop the termites getting in there and stop it rotting, keep the water out a bit, that kind of thing. Hopefully it'll make it last a few years longer. Makes it smell like an old tractor shed as well. That's where Jib Crane work comes, it's good. I've just got my gate in position roughly. It's up nice and close to the gate post there so that the dogs can't sneak out. Over on this side I've elongated my hole. Excuse my shadow. I've elongated my hole and gone down about 600 mil. It's pretty dark in there, you're probably not going to be able to see much. Maybe that'll give you a bit of contrast. There we go. So it's about 600 mil deep, nice straight sides and big enough to take the post. I'll have to pack the dirt in on the left hand side so that the post is held towards the right. That way the hinges will meet up there on the gate and everything will fit. That's the plan anyway. This is the piece I'm going to use for the horizontal bar. You can see I've gone past the hole there and it goes right down here to that next post. Plan on putting the other post in somewhere about where the shadow of my hat is there, and I'll just shorten that horizontal piece to suit. Hopefully I can avoid the tree roots and crap there, but let's get to digging and I'll show you how those tongs work. I can dig my hole anywhere along here, hopefully in line with the fence post, with the fence line, about there. Now the idea is you go straight down and pull these out and it takes out a bite of dirt. If I don't hit any tree roots, I'll be happy. It's a bit of a weird action. When you first start doing it, you tend to put them in like that and pinch them out trying to grab the dirt. They don't work that way. They're hinged on the outside. Now I found it's good to keep the first part of the dirt that comes out separate from the stuff that comes out later on. The soil here is quite a bit clay-like, and what happens is you get it in big clumps and you can't get the clumps back around the post when you're trying to pack it in. So it's good to have the nice stuff to pack it back around the post again, keep it tight. Now this post isn't as big as the other one. It's a standard split post. I'll need a hole about 150 diameter, a little bit wider on the side because the post isn't round. And once you find you're not making any more progress, like about now, you get your crowbar and you stick it down the edge of the hole and bring it towards the middle. And that levers the dirt out of the centre of the hole. I'll bring it back in a sec and close and you can have a look. That's already got enough dirt there loose for me to take out. If there's two of you digging the hole, you just alternate between the tools. You get to have a rest while the other guy's digging, and if you get the chance, give the other guy the crowbar. I'll see if I can bring you in closer. So the idea is, stick it in towards the edge and leave it towards the middle. And it breaks up the clay and gives you something to lever on. Each time you do it, you go down about 50 mil. You've only got to go down 600. That's about all there is to that. I'll bring you back when we're ready to put the posts in. Don't know whether you'll be able to see it. I got down about 400 mil and struck a tree root. Yeah, you might be able to see a bit down there. And it's only across the first half of the hole. The other side's clear. So what I'm going to do is I'll go home and sharpen up my crowbar to like an axe or a chisel point and cut through it. At the moment, it's got a nice big radius on the end. And it's just going dunk dunk. So I'll regroup tomorrow. For you, it'll be like no time at all. Alrighty, it's the next day. I've just given that a quick grind. If I can get it to focus there. Somewhere there. See, it's got a nice edge on it now. Something like an axe would have. Don't want it too pointy or a rock's going to take it out the first time I hit something. So anyway, let's go back down to the front gate and give that a try. Let's see how this goes. Just putting my gloves on, probably can't see that. I think I'll bring you back when that's done. Not going to be much more interesting than watching me do that. Something's up with this. No. Slowly down. Okay. The difficulty there was getting the hole to point in the right direction, and the crane doesn't quite go high enough to pick up 2.1 meters and have it dangling straight down. Anyway, that ought to do the trick. Next we'll pack the hole in. One of the goals here is to make sure you pack the dirt as deep down the hole as possible. It's very tempting to rush it at this stage, and you just end up packing the dirt at the top and the whole post can pivot at the bottom. It looks good when you first do it, but it doesn't last long. What I've got here is a piece of concrete reinforcing bar, otherwise known as Rio bar, or just simply rebar. I put a bend in it, about 600, 700 mil from the end, just a guess. Put that down there. And the idea is you can then get it down the hole and pack the dirt all the way to the bottom. And the reason for the bend is, if it was straight, I'd be busting up my knuckles against the post. With it like this, I can stand back a little bit. It's pretty rugged on the hand. You definitely need to wear gloves. Remember at the beginning I said when you're pulling out the dirt, save the good stuff. The good stuff I can now, it's generally small granules, so it'll fall to the bottom. Big clumps of clay won't fall down. Take your time and pack it in. Okay, just doing a bit of a test fit with the gate. It's going to be a little bit closer than that once I get the hinges on. It'll pull it up pretty close to the post. Post looks pretty square. The gap on the gate there is slightly wider at the top. Not that that'll matter. I could even bolt the hinges on and give the gate a little heave to straighten it up if it looks like it's high at this end. This old post here leans down towards the fence. The reason behind that is you strain the wire, it just slowly over the years pulls the post over. That gap is way better than what it was. Potentially I can get my wire strainer on the top there and give that post a heave ho and pull the whole thing back straight again. but we'll see whether I need to do that or not, see how it looks at the end. That post has had the termites get into it as well, and it's still pretty solid at the moment, but yeah, it's on the short list to get replaced. Looking at it this way, get my gloves out the way. If I look down there, I'm about level in the middle of the post here, I can see a nice straight fence line. You haven't got to come away far and you can see all the posts side on. The closer you get this to in line, the better it's going to work, because gradually the wire will pull the post over to the side. The next post is buggered as well, but that's just the latch where the chain goes around the post. One of the tricks when you're using a crowbar, I'm just back onto the hole with the root in it now, is when you come down, if you're hanging onto this quite firmly and you hit something hard, the whole thing shakes, you get jarred hands, you'll get blisters even through the gloves. The idea is you just let your hands go loose right at the last second before it hits, and that way the crowbar does all the work and your hands don't. Don't know whether I'm going to get through this or not. You'll notice this is the wood or the dirt I've been getting out, and it's all splinters and chips, so it's coming out. It's just hard work. The other choice is to cut the top of the post off. The other farmers will never know. I think that's going to have to do it. Let's see how deep I got. About 400. I was hoping to go deeper, but what can you do? I'll just check the width on the bottom of my post. In the widest spot, it's about 210. It's only 100 the other way. I want to face this one along with the wires, so when I drill a hole for the wires, I'll be going through the narrow bit, but that'll give it the most strength this way. Trying to drill through that way is a lot harder, so we'll just drill the holes through this way. So I need to make sure my hole is at least 210 wide. That's 210 wide this way. And the top of it is splayed out, but I can see it's probably about 180. So I'll take a bit off the sides, probably the front side. That way I can be further away from that root down there. It's much easier to make these holes a little bit wider. You just get it with one side of the tongs, like that. And down she goes. Trouble now is if I test fit the post, I can wedge it in there. It'll be a bugger to get back out again. So that's, I reckon, 210. Might go a little bit more. The other side should be heaps. That's about 150. I'll go and get the post. No crane this time. Oh, it's my father's noise. I turn it a little bit For that I'll get my big hammer. That's better. And you can see what I mean about it being too high. If you look at it like that, it's higher than the other post, so I will have to cut the top off, but I won't tell anyone if you don't. Now it's the same deal. Pack the dirt back around the post, get it nice and straight, take your time so you don't just pack it around the top. Yeah, it's firming up nicely. Okay, that's got that packed up, or packed in. See, now I can get a bit of movement there, but the only force on this post is from the horizontal bar pushing it that way, and we'll have a wire going diagonal to the bottom of the other post holding it up, so it shouldn't move. Just thought I'd give the limo a day out in the sun. Need a platform to stand on to cut the top of those posts off. It's a bit too high above my shoulder height to do anything safely. Mrs. Shed's out there cutting grass again. He's off the track because he's not looking where he's going. Got the trailer in the back, and I'll be standing in the trailer, give me a extra couple of feet off the ground. I look at that across there from the top of the, or the bottom of that hole to the top of the notch I just cut out, looks a bit uphill. If it's going to look funny, I can just take a little bit more off that post. It won't affect the length. It won't affect the length of the piece I'm about to cut. $2,670. Just square this end off, then I'll cut it to length. What I didn't want to do. I touched the dirt. As soon as you touch the dirt, you blunt your saw. One of the reasons me cutting the end off, I can try this in here and I can see it fits. So I won't have to worry about dicking around with it. Actually, fits one way, not the other. Looking at my saw cuts there, if I keep it in the same plane as it is now, it'll go straight in. Measure twice and cut once. 2,670 is what I said before. Next thing to do is to put the diagonal brace on, and that's going to run from this side up here down to that side down there. Remember that as the wire pulls on the post, it's going to pull the post that way, and the top rail is in compression, and that tends to push this post over. So if we run a wire from up there down to there, that'll stop the post being able to pull that way. Forms a triangle, and that's the way the structural work, lots of structures work. You know what I'm trying to say. So there, the wire will be in tension and the wood will be in compression, and the whole thing should stay where it is. The weight of the gate tends to pull the post the other direction, but usually the tension on the wire wins against the weight of the gate. The next thing to do is cut a couple of notches in with the chainsaw so the wires don't slide down the post.